Hi, this is Eli Kranzberg, and in this series, we're going to look at recording audio and MIDI into FL Studio. Now, in this video, I'm going to start by looking at recording audio, and there are several different ways of doing it, and we're going to focus on recording audio directly into the playlist here. So the first thing I want to do is check my sound driver settings. We can hit F10 or go under Options here and go to Audio Settings, and I have my FL Studio ASIO driver set, and I want to set my buffer here to as low as possible, and I'm putting it at 256, and I have my input device set to my M Audio interface, which is what I'm using, and I'm outputting through my system sound, and that's the way I want to work for recording this video, and that's fine, but the point is to set your input as you need there and your buffer. So let's close that up and get out of here. Now, the next thing I want to do is choose the data type that I'm going to record, because we can record basically MIDI, audio, or automation. And to do this, I'm going to use the recording filter, and we access it by right-clicking the record button in the main transport over here. So here you can see I have audio enabled with that check mark, and the rest are grayed out: automation, notes, and clips. And we can also enable or disable disarms on stop and recording starts playback, but I'm going to leave it as is for now. Now, the playlist lanes are not bound to audio inputs the way they are in a lot of other DAWs. So the idea is that the audio is recorded through the mixer to the hard drive, and then the recording is automatically loaded into the first playlist track that has space to host the recording. So we don't need to select the track the way we think of in other DAWs. We need to just route the settings in the mixer as needed. So once the recording is done, we want it loaded as an audio clip into the playlist. And the way to ensure that that's going to happen is to go in the mixer over here under this disc recording menu and make sure this is enabled: Auto Create Audio Clip. That'll ensure that it automatically gets placed as an audio clip in here. Latency compensation is good to leave on in order to compensate for the lag in time between the sound going into your microphone through your audio interface and back to your headphones. 32-bit float recording is necessary if you're recording above 16 bits. I'm leaving mine off for now because I'm recording at 16-bit, but if you're working at 24, which is a good idea, you can leave that on. And then we have an auto unarm function, which I'm going to leave on, and that'll automatically unarm the track for recording once we stop. Now, if you want to check or set your recording bit depth, go to your Windows Start menu, and then in the control panel, which I'm going to jump to right now, we can go to Sound over here. And in Sound, we want to go to Recording, and then this is the device I'm recording with. And we want to go to Properties, Advanced, and here you can see I'm set at 16-bit. Mine does go up to 24, but I'm leaving it at 16 for now. So back into FL Studio. The next thing I want to do is set the mixer track input. So over here with, let's say, 5 selected. Now, it's important to select a track or a mixer channel that's not being used. I'm using these first 4 for a little kick and snare part and hand clap part that I have, and I'm going to record some live ride cymbal on top. So I don't want to use those first 4 mixer tracks. So I'm going to choose 5 and set the input here. So I can record either in mono or stereo. I'm going to record in mono for now. I have my mic plugged into input 1, and I'm going to record with the same mic that I'm speaking with for now. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is turn down this send to the master track, because I don't want to hear my voice through the headphones or the cymbal through the headphones when I'm recording. It's distracting and I don't need to hear it. I just want to hear the music. But if you do want to monitor it and you're hearing some latency the place to compensate for that is in the settings over here with the buffer. Now, here's another thing I'm going to do with this buffer setting set to 256. We see that there's going to be a latency of 6 milliseconds. So I'm going to record with an offset here. I'm going to double it to 12 seconds since the time it takes to go in and out is 2 times, 2 trips. I'm going to set this, and I'm looking up here, to -12 so that when I record, there we go, -12 milliseconds. It's going to place the recording -12 milliseconds so it'll line up with what I'm hearing when I'm recording it. So with that done, let's close that. You can see now that this is turned orange, meaning that it's armed for recording. So we can click on this to arm it or disarm it, and that's what's going to get automatically disarmed based on the setting we saw here. And what I want to do now is set the location and name the file that's going to be recorded. Now, there's a couple of different ways of doing it. The first thing is under Options. When we go to Project General Settings, I can set the data folder here. Auto will set it to where this project is saved to, and that's generally fine. But I can also set it on a per mixer channel basis by right-clicking this Record Arm button, and then I get this dialog box where I can name what I want. So I'm going to call it Ride Cymbal. And I want to set the location. I'm going to put it in the folder that I have the project in, and that's fine. I'm going to hit save. I think I'm also going to roll off some low end because I know I don't need much on the ride cymbal. I want to focus on the highs. So let's just dial this down a bit like that. Nice and low like that. And there we go. I'm going to just play a bit and set the levels. You can see my mic as I'm speaking. You can see the meter jumping over here. But let me just play a bit. Okay, that's kind of loud, so I'm going to bring this down. Maybe even a bit more. That's great. Maybe I'll go a little bit higher. So with that done, I'm going to left click the record button, and we'll see here that we're in song mode. And with the left click, I get prompted asking me what I want to do with what's going to be recorded, and I'm going to go audio into the playlist as an audio clip, and we'll hear 1 bar count in. Great, so I hit stop, and there's my file recorded at a nice conservative level, and this has automatically been disarmed, and I'm going to take this out of ARM recording mode. And I can play it back. Now, when I play it back, it's automatically going to get routed to the master output, but what I want to do is set it to its own mixer channel strip so I can control it independently, and I'll go to 6, since I'm using 5 for recording. Good, so that's working nicely. I could have recorded a bit hotter, but it doesn't matter. I can always boost it up with plugins down the road. So those are the basics for doing audio recording where you want your clip to be automatically placed in the playlist. We'll continue with more in the next video.